to do what the work placement. So the work placement, the students need to provide, they're going to have a little logbook saying they have done a real experience 360 hours. And how that works. So basically, a lot of our students, 80% or more, during the course, they get a job in a kitchen. There we go. They're already working. They don't need to work. Maybe they are struggling to find a job, and they already have the experience. They're learning always, and that's why I said, guys, it's really nice to students to be aware about that. Imagine has 7 restaurants. Our trainer on the Gold Coast has his own restaurant, and again, imagine that studying your teacher actually someone who has a restaurant. So if you are good or if you're struggling, always ask as well for help. The school, as I said, like we're gonna provide the help with the resumes. We're gonna provide the help, how to find the job, where to go. But something good to keep in mind is, and I always tell everyone, understand first where you are coming to. So Australia, especially Queensland, Gold Coast, and Brisbane, hospitality is a massive industry. So there's a lot of cafes, there's a lot of restaurants. I used to work as well, like I've worked like for a long time as a waiter. There's a lot of again, if you do childcare, or even if you want to like maybe if you have already some experience looking after kids, there's a lot. I remember a lot of students, they would come here. Second week, they would get a job as a babysitter, like looking at kids. So all that. I mean, there's a lot of jobs. Of course, now it's not the same as before. But as I told you before, like at the beginning, it's being way better now. Things are pretty much getting back to normal. When COVID started, of course, a lot of the students, unfortunately, a lot of people actually lost their jobs, but things are now pretty much back to normal. So students, about jobs, don't worry. Imagine an entrepreneur. We're always going to help you guys with the resumes, how to find the jobs. And there's jobs for everyone, definitely.
Okay, so sir, you mentioned earlier. Okay, you mentioned earlier about Certificate 3 and Certificate 4 plus the diploma. Can you explain further about this? What are the advantages of these certificates and diploma for our international students who are interested to enroll in your school?
Absolutely. So for those packages, guys, like when I call packages, we have a few packs for a few courses. So cookery, we call cookery package. So we have Certificate 3, we have Certificate 4, and diploma. Why I say the package is because when they finish the course, they're going to do more than 90 weeks course. And this one in specific, the cookery, once they finish the course, again, law can always change, but at the moment, the students, they can apply for this graduated visa, which can be a pathway for apply in future for a residency. I'm not going to get too much into that because immigration is something like, I'm not going to really get
we'll have Christine later on about that. Yeah. Okay.
Fantastic. But again, those courses, basically, imagine like this, for especially like, let's say for cookery, we have students studying, they have myself example, right? I'm not a chef. I know how to cook a little bit at home, but usually my wife does, but not me. But if today I decide I want to become a chef, you can't really go to a Certificate 4. You can't go straight to diploma. You need to start Certificate 3 first. That's the first step. That's how do you hold a knife? How do you cut? How do you, students are going to learn the basics. That's actually, that's how they start with the basics. And then they start going to a more complex things during the course, during the Certificate 4. So Certificate 3, when you say Certificate 3, 4, and diploma, that's pretty much like the steps by steps. Same as example for the entrepreneur, we have, as I was telling you guys, we have the graphic design course. We have certificate 4, diploma, and advanced diploma. Sometimes we have students who actually already have a lot of experience, but never really studied, but they know a lot. So if the student wants to start, let's say, in diploma, they can, but they're just going to need to provide that they have some knowledge. The school is going to give them like pretty much like a specific test. But if you guys want to become a graphic designer, but have no idea at all, So you start first in the certificate 4, then you move to diploma, and then an advanced diploma. So it's always good. Yeah, actually, that's a pretty good question to understand the difference. So
Yeah.
there's some courses, example, maybe you want to start straight away in a diploma. So maybe student want to do a diploma of project management. That's possible. Some courses, students can go straight to diploma, but there's another courses that, depending like about their knowledge or depending what they want to choose, they need to go first for the certificate.
Yeah, I asked that question because you mentioned earlier, let's say for our international student, they will have a 2 years course, a 2 years visa, right?
Yeah,
so I am thinking that, let's say, if they're gonna get another certificate or they're gonna move to diploma afterwards, does that mean that are they allowed to extend their stay aside from the 2 years visa that they have?
So so the thing is, when these students they choose to do, like, let's say, like a automotive course as an example, they do the certificate 3 and 4, and that already gives the students already 2 years. So then the next step would be to do a diploma. These students actually they can always extend the visas, they can always apply for another course, but the thing actually they need to be aware, and actually I mentioned before, is it needs to make sense. And when I say needs to make sense, is basically you can come here to Australia and do, oh, I'm gonna do cookery, beautiful. Oh, I want to do a graphic design now. It is possible, but you need to really provide that why you're doing that. I can even share my own experience. I mean, I'm not originally from Australia. I came to Australia 6 years ago as a student. I came studying English, and then I did a few VET courses as well. So basically, my degree back home, I studied business, and I did like people management. So why I decided to do here, so I did a course, I did a diploma of project management. I did then a diploma of marketing, and I did an advanced diploma of leadership in management. So as you see, all those courses, they are related. So you can justify, say like, look, actually I did business, I'm doing that because I want to. So it's still linked. But if you go to a complete, like, oh, I want to do fitness, it is possible, but then you need to really justify why you want to do that. So you need to make, maybe, let's say, oh, I want to do fitness because I want to go back home and I want to open my own gym. I have a business. I have a business as a degree, but now I want to open my own gym. I want to be like an entrepreneur, but I need to know more about the fitness. So there are ways you can justify, and students, again, they can always extend. So as I told you, as I was saying, like, I came here, I have just a 6 months visa to study English. I didn't even know, I was not even planning to stay in Australia, and here I am, still 6 years here. And then, what am I gonna do? I want to stay more. What am I gonna do now? So I decided, I want to do a. And then I spoke to some people. I spoke to a few agents. They helped me as well to understand, and then decided to do a project management course, which was amazing. Then I did a bit of marketing, leadership and management as well. So
nice.
There's always a way. Like you can always extend your visa as long as you can prove to Australia you are a genuine student, that you are not just trying to stay in Australia and not really studying. And that's something important as well to know. Is both schools, they definitely. You're going to have a lot of fun, especially when you do a VET course. It's not a really intense course because it's basically once a week or just like twice a week. But you still have a lot of work to do. You still have a lot of assessments. You have some presentations you need to do. So it's nice the students to know, like, they're going to be learning a lot, and they're going to have a lot of time as well to work. About working as a student, it's actually something really nice to tell the students is, legally, they can work 20 hours a week in a student visa. But once they are in the holidays, and a lot of the VET courses, during the course, they have holidays, they can pretty much work full-time when they're on holidays, as long as they can tell the employer. And if they need like a letter from the school saying they're on holidays, the school can provide that to the students as well.
Okay, that's good.
Okay, so Sir Gab, since you've mentioned that it is based from your experience, I want to ask, because it's very interesting to know that, what do you think is the advantage of having like the Visa Center or any agency to support any student who's planning to stay in Australia, or just like what your experience?
Guys, I have actually amazing. I can tell you right now, I'm gonna give you an amazing example, right? When I came to Australia, I had no idea about agencies. I came with an agency. I'm originally from Brazil, but I never really understood the importance of an agency. I have my brother. Okay, said to my brother, "Come to Australia. We don't need an agency." So you're gonna put in a nutshell what happened. He got his visa refused because we tried to do our own. I thought like I know I'm gonna be fine with that because I knew someone from the school, and I said we do the whole process. So at the end of the day, he's got his visa refused. We did a terrible application. That was 4 years ago, and to this day, even if he wants now to come as a tourist, is pretty hard. So students, guys over there, they're like watching this video, having an agency, we actually, even if you're in Australia, we always strongly suggest don't do on your own. Go with your agency. Go, with you guys, because again, having you sometimes they think they know, but there's a lot of things, especially with immigration. There's a lot of like you need to prepare documents that you think you are doing right, but trust me, like you guys, you deal with that every single day. You guys know exactly what Australia wants to see. You guys are doing the whole work between the school and the student. So again, the importance to have an agent, that's a massive, massive importance. I have my own experience with my brother. He was coming to Australia. I thought no, let's not do it with an agent. And at the end of the day, he got his visa refused. And now, even if I go to an agent right now to try to get him to Australia, because we provide some information that didn't really work him at all. So, it's a massive, massive importance to have an agent, to have you guys helping, the students, So, guys, go to the visa center, talk to them. You talk to professionals there. You talk to people there applying for visas every single day. They really know what, as I was saying, it's not only about providing oh, here's my documents. No, you need to make sure, again, I was telling it needs to make sense. Immigration Australia, Australia is an amazing country, but at the same time, which is it's easy to come if you have the right people with you. So if you apply, if your application is sort of, trust me, they're not going to approve your visa. So you need to make sure you have a nice, nice application. And to do that, you need someone. In this case, you need the visa center to help you out with this whole paperwork. Which I'm gonna tell you something. I was so stressful. It was because it's so much. There's so many documents you need to provide. There's so much. And I remember in one stage I wanted to give up. I was like, oh my God, I don't even want to go anymore because it's so much. But you need to really relax and remember you are with professionals, and it just makes you to feel way more comfortable, and you don't really worry too much because you have you guys as a students. If I was there and I would go to the visa center, I would know, well, I have people right now helping me who has been in the industry for a long time, as well as you guys have been. So it's a massive importance to have an agent. Even for the school, it makes for us way easier because you guys know exactly how to do. You know exactly what to send to us, and the process just goes way quicker. It's just way quicker, and it's way safer. Again, never do on your own, because it's not worth it. I have a brother, and I regret to this day that I didn't get it's not only get an agent, but I'll get as well someone that we really trust. And again, the visa center, it's a big partner of ours, for both schools, and we really trust you guys with the work you guys do. So students, go to the visa center, trust me.
Okay. Right. So, partner, Justine, I just like to share to our viewers as well that we are actually have a very good partnership with Imagine Education. Because with our previous client, Miss Vanessa, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So this is the reason, guys, for our viewers, okay, this is actually one very good example that even in our situation right now, that people are still scared because they don't know when is the border going to happen. That's why they don't want to continue their plan of applying student visa to Australia. So with Vanessa's case, it was approved, and she is actually just waiting now for the border to be open. So that's actually a good news for everyone.
Yes,
Okay.
just a quick backgrounder for our viewers. Miss Vanessa is our featured story, and she's actually one of our successful clients. She started her application a few months ago, and her visa just got approved early this month, if I'm not mistaken, or I think last week of August. So that's a good news for everyone who's really a bit worried, especially during this time of pandemic. So thank you as well to Imagine, our partner. Thank you so much, Sir Gab, for assisting our clients, and you are part of this success. So the success of Miss Vanessa's application is also because of you guys in Imagine. So thank you so much.
Amazing. Thank you guys. Thank you,
Sir Gabriel,
guys.
I think we still have a couple of questions coming from our viewers. Yeah, so because we understand that
they're very interested.
We're all close to 1 hour already.
Yeah.
Oh, that's all right.
I think let's take last two questions, partner, and then let's proceed to the next part of our life. Okay, we have here from Beatrice Saragossa. She's asking, what are the basic requirements we need to submit to register in your school? Okay, that's very specific question. So, Sir Gab, just to give them a glimpse of the paperwork that they should be expecting, what are the requirements?
Fantastic. So, guys, what you need to understand as well is like the process. The first process is the application. So, with the application, so you guys are going to decide what course you want to do. You're going to send basically your passport. You're going to send as well the English evidence. As I told you, if you don't have English evidence, you can do pretty much only like our English placement test. That's not a problem. And for the school, it's pretty much what we need. Because then from that, we're gonna generate for you guys the letter of offer. The letter of offer, and that's actually what the students need to understand, is when you're gonna have that price frozen for you. So even if you're gonna start in December next year, the price is gonna be the price now. So you're gonna have the letter of offer, you hold the price. Okay. Once you sign the letter of offer and you do like the deposit for the course, that's when you're gonna provide the COE, which is a document that you're gonna need to apply for your visa. So then with the COE, that's when you're probably gonna need to provide some more extra documents to immigration. But basically, with the school, it's pretty simple. It's basically your passport we need. You need to fill our application form. The visa center, they have the form. And you need to provide as well like the English evidence. So I know you guys actually usually send to us even some extra documents, which is awesome as well. I have sometimes you guys even sending sometimes if the student has already a diploma in something. So if you have a qualification already, send it to us. It's always good to have that as well. So it's not like, the main, like we don't really, how can I put that? We're going to need that. Actually, it's important to have. If you have, send it to us. But mainly is application form, your passport, your English evidence. And then if you have your qualifications, send our qualifications as well. It's pretty simple. This process is pretty simple. And that's actually what I'm telling you guys right now. Do it when you can. Because, again, because this whole pandemic, these borders are closed. So there's a lot of... At the moment, there's a lot of schools around us. Unfortunately, they're closing down because they have no students. Because we're such a big school and we have so many different type of courses, we are doing amazing. It's like, I just need to, thank God for that, because it's pretty amazing to see. It's sad at the same time because we see other schools, unfortunately, not going that well. And the reason why I'm saying that, because everyone is desperate. So the competition is going really hard on us. We have amazing promotions at the moment. So if you apply right now, you don't need to worry paying anything right now. But then if you have the letter of offer, beautiful. You have the letter of offer, that's the main thing. You put to start in February. The board is still closed, no problem. We can defer. You can put you can push back, because eventually, guys, it will open. It will open.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
okay.
actually nice to know, Sir Gab, because we have a question here from Abby. She's asking if, what if your visa application has been granted and the border is still closed, and the intake is already starting. So it's good that you've mentioned that they can actually move the
Yeah.
schedule, and that will be free of cost, right?
Oh yeah, exactly. Actually, super important to say as well. Thanks so much for reminding me that. Actually, that's has been one of the biggest concerns as well. Oh, but what about if applying my visa right now? Oh, but the border is still closed. What I'm gonna do is gonna cost me more money. No, that's not gonna cost you extra money. So to change your course, the school is not gonna charge you anything for that. Don't worry, because again, it's not the student's fault. It's not the agent's fault. It's something that's out of our control. It's the government right now closing the borders because of that. So it's not going to have any cost to you to defer for the future. I even know as well that I think the immigration, they even basically have as well, like, helping students with the fee, if I'm not wrong, if they basically, I'm not gonna know right now. But again, there's a lot of things actually the government is doing as well to help the students in regards to that, because again, not only the schools but the government understands as well that if you apply and if you pay, wait a second, like, and you cannot come, it's not your fault. So again, with the school, don't worry, like there's no extra fees for that.
What?
Okay, so I think one of the favorite questions, especially if we have a partner school visiting our Facebook Live, is the tuition fee. So, what are the terms that you are giving to your international students when it comes to tuition fees, Mr. Gabriel?
So tuition fees, guys. I mean, it really depends the course that the student is gonna choose. We do have like a pretty, like, amazing promotions at the moment, as I was saying. About the COE deposit, not 100% sure for this market. Like, if you guys give me just one little second, just to make sure about the deposit.
Sure. Because there are some universities or institutes that are just requiring for, let's say, 1 semester, and there are some who are really requesting for 1 year payment. Because as far as we understand, there are some viewers who are already like interested to really avail an international or a student visa going to Australia. Their concern now is, do they have enough budget for their tuition fee to pay in the school? Because that's one of the requirements for them to continue the application with their visa application rather to Australia.
Right. Just let me get that answer for you guys right now. Let me check here.
And while checking, I'd like to say hi to our viewers. Hi to Nouri Islam, Beth Slim.
Abi Fedi.
Yeah, Abi Fedi. She actually is very interested. She has still questions here. We'll try to answer them before we go to the next part of our live. So hi, Jana Silkar and MJ, Arden, and Vanville. So hi, guys. Thank you for tuning in.
So she has a question here that the English placement is free.
Is the English, yeah. Is it free?
And is there a requirement for IELTS?
So guys, so answer the question about the payment, how that's gonna work. So for us to, so the student received the letter of offer. At that stage, don't worry, like, the student doesn't need to, oh my God, I need to pay next month, otherwise I'm gonna lose my discount. No, that's not gonna happen. Once you have the letter of offer, you have the letter of offer. If you need to defer the date, no problem, there's no cost. All right, the borders are open. I want to go to Australia now. So now you need the COE. So you need to sign, as I said, and then you need to deposit. How much? So the school would ask for 25% of the total tuition plus extras. So what is the extra, guys? Extras is the enrollment fee, which is any course you do, you pay actually only once in your life. If you are a student, imagine once, let's say you pay just once, $250. So 250, that's the enrollment fee. And then depending on what course you're gonna do, you pay as well the material fee. So let's say if you do a cookery course, because you're going to receive a pretty nice and big kit for with all the knives, all the tools you're going to need to be a chef, you pay $989 for the kit, which is yours anyway.
Okay, that's good.
So it's 25% of the tuition, and then plus enrollment fee, $250, plus the material fee as well. So depending on the course you guys, like, the students decide to do, let's say project management, entrepreneur as an example, I know the material fee is like $200, so it's not really that much. But again, it's a pretty good deal. So, and then the rest, once the students get to Australia, they pretty much, then they have like a payment plan for the rest of the course. You can pay monthly, then they start working as well, then it's way easier to pay for the course. And again, guys, especially during those times, we know a lot of students, with this whole thing happening, both schools have been really helping students. Of course, we can't really just say, don't pay the school. It's not that, but pretty much every single day happens. The students like, I can't pay the school. Oh my God, what do I do? Relax. We help you. Like the school they can be pretty flexible with the payment. So if you need to change your payment plan, maybe to do it like in a different way, maybe if you know you're going to be late with the payment, just tell the school, look, guys, actually are going to be late a little bit. Then they're not going to charge you any extra fee. So, I mean, as long as the students are communicating with the school, but again, once the borders are open, I know it's going to be crazy in a good way. We're going to have, once the borders are open, wow, it's going to have so many students. Things going to start it's going to be way more, it's going to be super busy, which is going to be awesome as well for jobs. So once they open the borders, I mean, things right now in Australia are going pretty good. Once they open the borders, wow, it's going to be happy days.
Especially to international students who are very interested, just like Abby. So, Sir Gab, just to answer Abby's question, she's asking if it is IELTS required for commercial cookery, and is the English placement free? So those are her two questions.
Awesome. So no, IELTS is not a requirement to do the cookery course. You don't need to do the IELTS test. So if you don't have the IELTS, you can do our English placement test. There's no any fees for that. So all you're gonna do, go to the visa center, say, guys, I want to apply. I don't have the. So you do that. No phones. Make sure you don't have your phone. Okay, it's a really important thing as well. I know sometimes, I don't know that, and they go and they cheat a little bit. I've been a student, I know how it is. It is really important. Like when you start your class, I mean, you need to make sure you have a good level of English, because we have sometimes students, they start a course and we realize, wait a second, actually this student needs to do a bit of English because it's not really good. So sometimes if that happens, let's say you do the English placement test, for some reason you cheat, trust me, the school will know, and they're gonna ask, all right, you're gonna need to do the test again. And then if you fail, they might say to you like, look, I need to do some extra weeks of English. But again, it's always good to students to understand it is important, because especially if you're gonna do like an automotive course, there's a lot of safety involved as well. If you don't understand the language, you press a wrong button, the car just
That'll be dangerous.
I don't even want to think about that.
Okay.
Yeah, so definitely the English placement will help them survive Australia as well, especially if they're planning to stay there for quite a long time. If they're planning to do a bachelor's degree or a 2-year course, so they'll definitely need a good English for that. Absolutely. Thank you so much, Gab.
And I just little thing as well to everyone. I know, again, like students you guys send to us, I know usually they have a really good level of English. It's not really, again, I know general English is not really like a popular course, but English, the language is always in really the first step to for jobs. Everything you're gonna do here, you're gonna need to have some certain level of English. But I know your students, usually most of them, they have a pretty good level.
Okay, I think, partner, we have the one last question coming from our viewers today. This is also coming from Abby. So do you offer accommodation for international students, and how much? And
So
also, what are the other benefits? Let's say, what are the other support you are providing to our new students coming into Australia aside from accommodation?
So we provide the homestay accommodation, which basically, if you guys don't know, if you're not familiar with the homestay is, so we can organize for you a family house, which is an amazing way. I actually myself, I stayed like, my first 2 months in Australia, I had like a homestay, and it was the most amazing thing because you go to a family and it's an amazing way to emerge into the culture as well. So the school can organize that. The thing with the homestay is like you're gonna be paying for the rent. Usually they have already the price you pay. You're gonna have usually like a breakfast included. You have
Oh,
like
wow.
dinner as well, depending on the homestay.
Mhm.
But sometimes students homestay usually might be a bit more expensive because because of like it's not on the rent. They usually gonna provide you food. But sometimes we have a lot of students. They're like, oh, I don't want to be in a family. I don't really want that. We definitely can help the students to find. There's a few actually websites that we can even like afterwards I can share with you guys as well, which is good like to you guys to give to your students where they can pretty much find accommodation. So usually, and to give an idea how much you guys are going to spend with like accommodation, if you get a single room, right, not sharing with anyone, where the school is on the Gold Coast South Port, you are looking the average of $150 a week, $200 a week. It really depends where you want to live. If you're going to live Surfers Paradise on the Gold Coast, where it's like, the heart of the Gold Coast, is really busy, it's going to be a bit more expensive. But guys, trust me, find accommodation is pretty easy. If the students wants us to organize a homestay, we can organize. We don't organize other accommodations for the students, but again, we are more than welcome to share with the students those websites. There's like there's a flatmates.com.au and there's the gumtree.com.au, which like those two pretty popular websites that the students can find easily a nice accommodation, and sometimes again paying like $150. So homestay probably is going to be the average of $250 a week, but again that will include as well the food, and the students like usually don't really need to concern too much depending. Like I remember my homestay, they even used to wash my clothes. That was amazing. There was
Oh,
like
cool.
Wow.
five-star
You're living like a king
yeah,
if you're
That's a
choosing
homestay.
homestay.
exactly.
Okay. Yeah, we have some concern, Mr. Gabriel. Like, for example, for our students, part-time is really important for them. You discussed earlier that they will only have like 2 days a week class, so it means that they have enough time to look for a job or look for a part-time job. So how about for, let's say, for us like Filipinos, can you give us a little let's say feedback there when it comes to Filipino looking for a part-time job in Australia? Is it like in demand, or what are the problems they're facing, or something like that?
Yeah. So guys, I mean, the amazing one of the amazing things that I love about Australia is the optionalities of like different places. Like so, everywhere you go here, you see so many people from different places in the world. You're gonna see from Philippines. My wife, she's Australian, but her mom is from Laos, a country close to Vietnam. So there's a lot of we're gonna see a lot of like Vietnamese, a lot of people from Asia, a lot of people from South America, a lot of people from Europe. In regards to how because sometimes I know some students they might think, oh my god, but what about there's any because I'm from like a specific place, how it is to find a job. Again, my biggest advice is just make sure your English is all right. That's the main thing. It doesn't matter where you're from. Australians, they're like a really, really nice people. Again, they are really used to, because the educational industry in Australia, and that's nice, and the students to understand that as well, is one of the biggest industries in Australia. So everyone here is really used to see. You go to a restaurant, it's close. Now you're gonna see Australians working there. You're gonna see people like from different places in the world. And when I say, it's really hard to say like for a specific place, because there's, I mean, completely different places. So it doesn't matter where you're from. It doesn't matter if you're from the Philippines, you're from Brazil, you're from Europe. As I said before, like, I think my biggest suggestion in that device is really make sure as well, like, you know, your English, it's okay. That's really like, you know, I think one of the main things. As long as you can communicate, as long as you have the right attitude, you will find a job. You will have, like, you know, I mean, of course, like, you know, I remember for me, my first job as a cleaner, I got a job as a cleaner. It was my first job in Australia, which was amazing. Like, I was, you know, making some good money. And that's what the thing as well. Doesn't matter what you do in Australia. You can wash plates, you can clean, you're gonna make a decent money as well. The average pay, like, salary here is, it really depends what you're gonna do, but it's around like $18 an hour, which is not not bad. Like, you can, you know, survive easily. But of course, as I was saying, like, you know, make sure, like, you know, your communication skills are good, because I know sometimes students, they